Vlogmas Day 13. We're here with our 13th video for this month. And today we are going to talk about being in our DRV, our DRV, as they say, I guess, JX450 for 1 full year. Our official, anniversary was last month. November,
yeah,
before
Thanksgiving.
A little bit before Thanksgiving. So we thought we'd come in and give you a review. We've done a tour of the RV, and we did one other for our RV. I can't remember. Do you remember?
We've done a couple videos showing you around the RV.
Yes.
And there's some more content that we've got to put together as far as repainting it and a little of the remodeling we've done. But this is we've been in it for a year now, so time to share what our thoughts of the DRV are after a year.
Yep.
So I'll let Candace go first.
Put
her on the spot.
What was your idea today?
Oh,
actually, no. Actually, it was
your idea. So
go. Let's see. I'll start with the fact that I do love the we got 3 parts. We got the upstairs, because 50s have the steps to go up. We got a bedroom back there. We got the living area, living room, open kitchen, floor plan situation. And I really, what I loved the most was that we were able to take the office, which is behind Jeff. We'll take the garage or the toy hauler part, which we don't have toys. Our toys are like dumbbells. We got a barbell, plates, because we both like to lift weights, and I'm also a personal trainer. So that allows for me to shoot content with my stuff for my clients too. So having that's what we use it for. But when we're not traveling, well, first let me back up. When we're traveling, that goes as storage, everything like the outside stuff, the big bin that we have for our weights and stuff, and of course the office desk stays. So when we're not traveling, it opens, it's fully in office. So that is my favorite part about this, having that. It separates work from the home life. We can shut that, or get up and leave it there, and then we have our living space. So my review overall of it is it has had some hiccups. I know Jeff will go into depth a little bit more. The grass ain't always greener. You always see something better. But I will say it took us a year to find this floor plan so that it would fit what we need, and it does. Some of the things that kind of, gets worrisome is how big we are. But we do things big all the time. So that's part of who we are. So I don't think overall it doesn't bother us as much. Sometimes it comes a factor when we are trying to find
a place to stay.
Place to stay.
Especially last minute.
And then dealing now with us being a little bit heavier, we are full time, so we do tend to carry more stuff. And I wouldn't say we're minimalists. We didn't really. I know don't at me for this, but we do. We ain't got a ton of stuff, but we do carry a good amount of stuff with us.
So some people get into this because some people get into RVing because they want to minimalize their life and get rid of all their stuff and just experiences.
Which we did get rid of a lot of stuff.
And we got rid of a lot of stuff, but we got into RVing so we could travel, not necessarily so we could be minimalist. So we've never had the goal of, hey, let's fit into a van, because that sucks.
That ain't my. I'm a diva, so.
You may see a lot of this van life stuff out there. You may see a lot of smaller fifth wheels and motorhomes out there, and they look awesome until you have to sit in it for all day, like we did yesterday. When it's raining outside and it's crappy and your dogs are trying to act up and all that stuff. So we still have quite a bit of stuff. So as Candace alluded to, we looked for this floor plan for quite a while, and we wanted 2 big things out of it. We wanted a kitchen, because a lot of RVs have really small kitchens, and we like to cook, and we don't like to cook outside. And I like to grill outside, but I don't like to cook outside. So all y'all that got the outdoor kitchens, more power to you. I'd rather not. So we like a big kitchen.
Yeah.
And we wanted the garage for the office space. And another thing we wanted that's really hard to find in a toy hauler is our couch to sit directly across from the TV area.
Yeah.
Instead of at a slant or an angle or looking at a 90-degree angle or all this other stuff that motorhomes and other fifth wheels will do to you, especially the toy haulers. So those were our three criteria, three biggest criteria. And then we envisioned eventually getting out to public land and doing a lot of boondocking and that type of stuff. So we wanted large water tanks. We wanted gas tanks so we could use generators if we needed to. We do have solar installed, but solar is a fickle beast. If you play around with solar, you know that it's good if the sun's up, and it's good if it's not winter, and it's good if you're not in the north, and if you don't need air conditioning. But if any of those things go wrong, you're back to a generator.
Yeah.
So while solar is really nice to have, it's not the end all be all. You'll still use a generator, and a toy hauler allows us to carry up to 60 gallons of gasoline with us, which will give us a long burn time for the generator. So big tanks, garage for the office, so we can separate our living space from our workspace, because that kind of sucked in our old fifth wheel. And then the big water tanks, because you go through freshwater fast. I mean, some people are very sparing on their freshwater, and they can make 50 gallons last forever, but 50 gallons lasted us for about 2 or 3 days, maybe 5 days if we really tried. We got 100 gallons now, and that lasts us quite a while. So the floor plan is really what drove the decision for the DRV. We like the construction methods for the DRV. We knew going into the DRV they had some known issues, and we've experienced them.
Yep.
Research showed that many people had problems with water intrusion with the DRVs. We thought we were going to be, those people that missed the water intrusion issues, but they got us. You know, one of them, to be quite honest, as I look and evaluate everything in the one water intrusion that really broke my heart, I think it started when the previous owner brushed a tree and broke a seam loose that was caulked, and it wasn't very obvious that it was loose, and water got in there and then got to the floor and soaked insulation below it, and then that was combined with a design flaw that actually would trap any water that got behind the slide seal there on the floor, which had a raw edge. So it was a combination of things. It was a combination of a little bit of an accident coupled with a little bit of maintenance issues coupled with a design flaw, and we ended up having some floor replaced. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was initially. And it was about a third of the amount of damage I thought we had initially. And then we had a slide floor replaced, which is really common across all RVs, but DRV, you don't expect it when you spend as much money as you spend on a DRV. But we ended up getting a slide floor replaced, and while it was slightly traumatic, it wasn't overall traumatic. So those are the negatives about the DRV. The other negative Candace mentioned is the weight, and we knew going into it that it was going to be a heavy RV. We wanted to see how it played out and what that did for us. Now these RVs are huge, and to be quite honest, we could probably easily put another 2,000 pounds of stuff in it if we wanted to without too much trouble, because most of our cupboards aren't full. There's plenty of places to hide stuff. There's lots of room in that garage, so we could actually put a lot more weight in here. And we could travel with the fresh water tank full, which would add another 800 pounds, and we rarely do that. We only travel with 30 to 50 gallons of water most of the time, and then fill up when we get someplace, because that's a lot of weight. 800 pounds is a lot of weight. So while we could add a whole bunch more weight in here, there's lots of room. And we try to, while not being minimalist, we try to keep our weight under control. So it's heavy, which sometimes works our nerves in the truck, and we've alluded to that a few times. It's long, and it has presented a challenge at times finding places to camp, because we don't like to stay all the time at commercial RV camps. We prefer state parks, national parks, city parks even. We've stayed at a couple city parks. We prefer those type of places, and sometimes when we've called the commercial places, all the big sites we're taking, because we're just big. It's 46 feet long. It's huge. On the flip side, we've squeezed into some parks that we weren't supposed to fit into, so it can be done, and you can find parks. Now, this is just off on a tangent. When you've got a big rig and you don't plan ahead like we don't plan ahead very well or very often, because our travel plans change often and we haven't really been burned by this, but if you look for reservations multiple days in a row at the same place, you tend to find reservations that'll work out for you. If you just spend, all weekend trying to plan out the next 6 months of your life and you can't find reservations and you give up, well, that's common. We commonly look at places that we want to go and nope, there's no reservations. And I'll look the next day, nope, there's no reservations. And I'll look the next day, who do you know? There's reservations.
Yeah, he stays on top of it.
Yeah, somebody cancels their trip. So
yeah,
that works out really well for us, and we've managed to fit this big behemoth into those
big
places.
Beast. We call it a beast.
Yeah, the beast or the Drv, because DRV is a little bit long to say.
Yeah.
Other people call them dogs because they're the DRV owners group, but we just call it the Drv or the beast. So all in all, it's got maintenance issues. Every RV does, and I don't think. While I sit here oftentimes and quite honestly, I say, F it, I'm done with this thing because I'm sick of fixing crap. But I fixed stuff on the Cyclone toy hauler that we had for a little bit.
Yeah.
I fixed stuff on the Cedar Creek trailer that we had for a little bit, and I fixed stuff on the DRV. And I just watched a couple of YouTube videos. I got sucked down the YouTube rabbit hole for a YouTuber called Irritated Traveler. And wow. I thought I was bad at, $1,000 to $5,000 worth of repairs. They're talking $10,000 to $20,000 of repairs of a reputable, well-known, well-regarded RV brand, motorhome brand. So I don't feel so bad about having just spent $5,000-ish on repairs when their repair bill came to $18,000.
Yeah.
So they all have their problems. So at the end of the day, and you'll see this advice across many motorhome and RV owners groups, find a floor plan that works for you.
Yep. And we did a thing on that, what to look for, a video thing, a
Yeah,
video on what to look for in your RV or what you want. And that was one of the things you said was the floor plan. Pick one that you love and you can see yourself living in, especially if you're full-time in it, and then whatever.
Yeah. The floor plan rules everything because you need to be comfortable where you're living or where you're staying. Yeah. So get the floor plan right and then fill it in with all the other things and find it in the best manufacturer you can find and accept the fact that there's going to be issues.
Yeah, there's no grass is green on the side. All these units, from the motorhome to the trailer to the van to the fifth wheel, they all come with maintenance things that you'll have to do. It's a house on wheels. It's driving down the street. So what do you expect? So that's what I have to say about that.
Yeah. We've looked at a couple of the custom and semi-custom fifth wheels, and they look like they're very well built, but I've seen people talk about having to travel to the factory for repairs on those too. I think they have less problems, but on the flip side, you're paying 2 or 3 times as much for that RV as we paid for ours. And you're paying, 5 or 6 times as much than you pay for a less expensive RV. So while you may have less maintenance costs, the cost of entry is really high. I could repair a lot of stuff on this RV for the cost of say a New Horizons, and I could buy 2 or 3 of these RVs for the cost of a spacecraft. So you just gotta kind of measure your expectations. So other things that we've noticed in here, in a year, yes, getting to be time.
Yeah.
In a year, we've noticed that they cheap out on a lot of little stuff. So screws, we see little bitty screws failing all the time, and we just replace them with good quality screws afterwards. Invest in cabinet screws. They go a long ways to fixing the issues that you have with RVs. And carry some tools and some supplies along because there's repairs to be made, little minor repairs to be made all the time, and sometimes there's major repairs. Knowing what we know now, would you get into a DRV again?
Yes. I would, to wrap it on up, right?
Yeah, wrap it up.
Jeff can go and go. Sometimes me too, but so yeah, I would do it again. I like the floor plan or some type of toy hauler so we can still have our office separate. We did make it our own, as you can see in our past videos. We painted it and made it brighter. I hear people say it looks just too clean. I like the look of it, so do what you want. If you don't want to do white, you could do whatever colors. If you want to change it up, like we're getting ready to change the island to a color just to have an accent color in here. But yeah, what about you?
Yeah, I think probably would do it again. I do a pretty good job inspecting things, I think, but I missed the water damage because it hadn't really presented yet because it started underneath the floor instead of on top of the floor. So maybe I could have caught it before we signed our names on the dotted line. That was a little irritating, but overall, it's been a decent experience, and the floor plan is great, and it does what we want to do, and I would buy it again. And I think we're going to stay with it because once you put all the work that we've put into it, the thought of doing that again in another RV is kind of daunting.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've remodeled something and then gotten rid of it and wanted to go somewhere else. That's a lot of work.
Yeah, that's how we felt when we redid our house before we went full time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
yeah, we've made it our own. I don't know if anybody even want it, if we wanted to sell it. So we're kind of stuck with it, I guess. Yeah. I don't know. So, I would do it again. I would also say that if you're going to buy a DRV, do a lot of research, join the owners groups and ask questions and see if the issues that they tend to have are issues that you're willing to deal with.
Or any rig.
Yep, and that goes for DRV and any other rig.
Yeah, that's out there. There's groups for all of them.
But at the end of the day, I would buy it again, and we will probably keep on living in it.
Yep, keep on pulling our beasts. So, babe, is that it? Is that all you have?
I think so. If you have any questions about things that we've experienced in the year of ownership, we've covered most of it in our videos, but feel free to drop them in the comments below and ask.
Yeah.
And let us know.
And that'll help us, like I said before, to create more content around those things. So that's it, babe. Right?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Vlogmas Day 13. Thank y'all for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you'll know when we drop another video. And I'm super excited because we are doing this at the daytime. We've been running out of time, and we did not pre-plan this. We chose to do it this way. Because we want to just put ourselves on the hook. So we appreciate all y'all that have been watching. And we'll see you next time.